Premier Ford, thank you for joining us. I know you're standing on the Canadian side of the Gordie Howe Bridge, named for the hockey great,
Yes.
that is set to open next week. This was supposed to be an international celebration of a pretty historic infrastructural and economic achievement. It is not going to end up that way, as there won't be a joint U.S.-Canadian ceremony, but there was a Canadian one today. And I want to call out the fact the president a little while ago on Truth Social said Canada disinvited the United States of America to the opening of the Gordie Howe Bridge, which is fine, considering they are paying substantial tariffs to the United States. But the original deal on the bridge, which was terribly negotiated by a previous administration, no longer stands. We changed the terms of the deal so that the United States of America now gets 50% of the profit. Is that your understanding of what this deal is?
Well, that's not quite, but it's close. But at the end of the day, Ed, first of all, thanks for having me on. This is going to create jobs on both sides of the border. We have over probably $52 billion U.S. going back and forth in trade, two-way trade. It's going to give an opportunity to create tens of thousands of jobs on both sides of the border. So we're happy it's getting open on Monday.
The fact that even the building of a bridge couldn't bridge the divide between the United States and Canada right now, what does that say about where relations are between the two countries and the fact that leaders can't seem to get together and even celebrate something as significant as this?
Well, it's been bumpy, but let's just remind the great American people, which I absolutely love. I say it every time. Canadians love Americans. I know Americans love Canadians. We didn't start this trade war. President Trump decided to go after his closest ally and friend, his number one customer in the entire world. And yes, the U.S. is our number one customer. It's unnecessary. We have to make sure that there's certainty that will create jobs and opportunities and production and lower cost of goods. Well, that was the total opposite is happening right now. And President Trump ran on lowering cost of goods. They're going up. Campaigned on certainty. Anything but certainty in both countries right now. And it's unfortunate he took this avenue with his closest friend and ally.
And there is set to be another round of this now, starting in mid-August, new tariffs on about $20 billion of Canadian goods, if I'm reading things correctly. Do you have any sense yet of how or what specifically in Ontario's economy would be affected by these new tariffs?
Well, I'll tell you what's going to affect the American people. It's going to be $14 billion of taxes, and it's going to create less jobs and higher costs. So it's unfortunate that President Trump decided to tariff his own country and tax his own country. We want to make sure that we create more opportunities, more jobs, and that's just not happening under President Trump right now.
Is there some element, though, of the Ontario economic sector that's going to get hit hardest by this potentially?
Well, we have to see exactly what are going to be tariffed. But I've told the Prime Minister, dollar for dollar, tariff for tariff. And who does that hurt? It hurts the population in the United States, hurts the population in Canada and in Ontario. This does not work. Protectionism does not work anywhere in the world. We're the two greatest countries in the world, the largest open border in the world, two closest allies, and we didn't start this war. President Trump decided to economically attack Canada. They're your number one customer. I'll give you an example. Just Ontario alone, Ed, 9 million Americans wake up every morning to produce a product, a widget, or a service for Ontario alone, not including the rest of Canada. And now there's going to be hundreds of thousands of people losing their jobs if these tariffs continue to happen.
So why then suggest to the Prime Minister, let's go dollar for dollar on this? Why not try to tone it down as opposed to amp it up?
Well, tone it down. When someone comes up and punches you in the face, not once, not twice, 10 times, you have to stand up to that person. Someone in the schoolyard wants to take your lunch money, you're going to fight back. And I've encouraged the Prime Minister to fight back. I'll do it in Ontario. And people talk about the liquor, the $1 billion. We're the largest purchaser of liquor in the world. I would love to have the U.S. liquor back on our shelves, the wine, the bourbons, but not until you get rid of the tariffs.
I was going to ask you about that. So it takes, again, the total elimination of this for you to start buying bourbon or California wine again for Ontario's liquor stores.
That's right.
Since this trade war began, we have seen the Prime Minister widen his scope, if you will, economically and even from a defense standpoint, with visits to Europe, Saudi Arabia most recently, China as well. I'm curious, most especially, if you think this latest round of tariff battles draws Canada even closer to China economically.
I wouldn't say China at all. What I'd say is countries, our allies around the world, we're diversifying our trade. We've increased trade in excess over 100% in the European Union and in other areas. And these are jobs that once came from the United States that now are being shipped overseas, and we're being more self-sufficient. Any products that we need, we're starting to produce here. So again, President Trump thinks it's helping the American people. Anything but helping the American people. Is driving up costs. All you have to do is look at the cost of a home, look at the cost of groceries in the U.S., look at the cost of gas. So cost is going up. It's not going down ever since he started this trade war with Canada.
All right, Premier Doug Ford of Ontario, to be continued.
Thank you.
But congrats on the bridge. We'll see if it opens as scheduled next week.
Thank you so much. And I just asked senators, congressmen, and governors, contact them to talk to the president, because one day you're going to rely on these jobs and you won't have a job if he continues with these trade wars. Thank you.
Thank you.